Hey, hello, and welcome to our COPI Homeschool Co-op presentation. We had a big meeting on uh, Tuesday of this week, and some people could not make it, so we're putting this together in a video format for those that are interested in what we're doing here in our homeschool co-op. And so I'm going to go through this presentation, which is not going to take very long, maybe about 30 minutes. You'll meet the people that are involved in what we are doing, and I'll give you a bunch of information. And if you're interested, we only have 20 spots available in our COPI Homeschool. So I'd encourage you that if this program would help you, which I believe it would help pretty much anybody, then let us know. There's a lot of misconceptions about homeschooling. If you're a person that's thinking about starting to homeschool, but you kind of feel overwhelmed about it, you don't have to teach like a 7-hour day like at the school district. Um, for the K through 3 of what we're focused on, it's like an hour and a half a day, and we're going to be providing a lot of it for you. So we encourage you, and you're going to hear from Angelica, our homeschool instructor, who's been a homeschool instructor for 3 years now, who's walked through the process and has done very well with it. This is a very doable thing. So we're going to walk through here and share with you uh, what we're doing, what our purpose is. And our number one purpose, our number one focus is to provide help for homeschool parents. We're here to help you. Now, you're the homeschool instructor. You bear the weight of responsibility of where your children are, but we have 3 retired educators that's a part of our program who's it's close to 100 years of experience amongst them in early childhood education. And so we're here to help you to take the some of the burden off your shoulder and to make sure that your child is tracking correctly with their grade level. In addition to that, our focal points are going to be the primary subjects of reading, writing, and math. Why are we focused on these and not the whole homeschool program? Because these 3 skills have to be done right. It will affect when they move to college or high school, or wherever they're at. What happens at the primary grade level is so important in getting the foundations right. And so we want to take the heavy lifting off the weight of the shoulders of the homeschoolers in these 3 specific areas and make sure that they are that the child is at their grade level and that they can adequately maneuver in these specific subjects. So what we're going to do in our purpose is, one, meeting the school standards. Any child that comes into our program will be assessed by a teacher, a retired teacher, coming in. And I'm talking about a public school teacher, a retired public school teacher who in their career has assessed children to grade level to make sure they're on the matrix and doing everything correctly. So we're going to make sure that your child is meeting the school standards, and we're going to give district guidance, what you need to do with the district and everything to be a legitimate homeschool and keep you on track with that, so that you're not having to do hours and hours of research to try to figure it out. We're providing socialization for students in a school classroom setting, and so this is one thing that lacks. And if you think about when you're in school, you had to raise your hand when you wanted to ask a question. There were behavior things. This gets lost a lot of times in homeschooling because it's mom and the kids or dad and the kids, and we just kind of we talk normally. One of the things I like about our homeschool instructor who's been homeschooling is she brings the format even into her house. She packs a lunch for her girls. They have to raise their hands. They do the flag salute. They do things that would be done in a public school setting, which your child would be exposed to that in our uh, co-op also. We're using a Christian-based curriculum. It's called Purposeful Design. And so it's not all this new modern trying to get your kids indoctrinated in something. Now, the one thing that would come up with a question, because this is functioning through a church, is, well, what are you teaching my kids? I don't know about your doctrine. Well, I get that. We're teaching the purposeful design classroom homeschool thing. So if you got the Bible say, all you got to do is track with us, what your child's going to be taught. We're just following that format because when we get into reading, writing, and math, it follows the Bible study that is for the children. So, for example, Angelica shares that one of the examples in the Bible study is Noah's Ark and how that animals were brought two by two. Well, that bleeds into the mathematics when they start counting by twos and so on and so forth. So even what we'll be teaching on the reading, writing, and math will correspond to the biblical thing. So you'll know exactly what's being taught, because it's really, we're not trying to indoctrinate your children in our beliefs in Christianity. We're trying to set the stage that their learning process will be from a Christian standpoint. As I mentioned earlier, we have retired teacher oversight on this. That we're paying attention to where your child is at. And with our 3 educators, we have somewhere around 100 years of classroom education. All right, our first oversight teacher, retired teacher, is Tammy Shipman, who spent most of her career at Pinkham Elementary. She was there ever since it opened, and she was at Union before that, and in Early Mart prior to that, and in Utah prior to that. Tammy's retired from the Visalia Unified School District with 38 years experience in kindergarten through 3rd grades. The majority of those were in 1st grade. She has an early childhood education degree specializing in reading and phonological awareness. Now, on her degree, in California, a teacher only needs a liberal arts degree. Now, a liberal arts degree isn't really a specific degree in anything. It's more of a general degree. Tammy went to, when she was in the university, was in one of the top universities of Utah State University in Logan, Utah. That was one of the top universities in early childhood education. So she has a vast experience in that. So we're going to bring Tammy in at this time to share with you, and so you can meet her. And so let's do that right now.
Hi, my name is Tammy Shipman, and I'm one of the educators that will be overseeing the COPI Homeschool Co-op. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about reading. Reading is kind of the thing that I love, and I specialized in it when I was at college. And I had a lot of success in my teaching years with it. You know, reading touches nearly every aspect of our lives, from when we're just little kids up until the day that we take our last breath. Reading is incorporated into everything, as well as math. But it's the key to independence. It entertains us. It's a link to information that we can get at our fingertips. And it's really hard when you see a child struggle with reading. But there are things that we can do as teachers, as parents of our kids, to help them understand and to link the skills that they need together to help them feel comfortable with it and feel self-confident with them. Children who have reading difficulties have a higher school dropout rate, and they are at greater risk of unemployment. These are some of the statistics that I have found on here. They achieve lower income levels in adulthood. And of course, there's always exceptions to the rule, but as a majority, this is what happens. They struggle with feelings of low self-esteem and adjustment, and I've seen that firsthand. That's why it's important for a child to learn how to read and to learn to do it successfully and have fun while doing it. You'd think that our brains were wired naturally to read, but it's not like walking. It's not like talking. It's actually something that has to be learned systematically. And so it's a formal type of instruction that has to be taught. And so it's important to know the kind of skills that you need. There's 5 areas of reading that you need, or that you need to incorporate to be successful. And if you think of it like a pie, you have 4 parts. You know, if you cut them into the 4 quarters, you have 4 parts. And one of the quarters is the phonemic awareness, which is where it all begins. It connects everything of sounds, what we hear, to what we see. So letters. And then there's also phonics. Phonics is a relationship between those sounds to make words. And then there's fluency. Fluency is important for comprehension. Fluency doesn't always necessarily mean how fast we read, but it incorporates a lot of things. And it's really important that kids learn to be fluent because it does affect comprehension greatly. And then there's vocabulary. Vocabulary is when you have words that are high frequency words, or words that are words that they see constantly in their reading, easy to sound out words. And then the last part is like the crust that goes all around the pie, and it holds everything together, and that's comprehension. And comprehension is how a child understands reading. And so all these parts work together. And if you really incorporate all the parts, then your child will learn to be successful.
Okay, that was Tammy. And our second retired educator is Sandy Mata. Sandy worked for Visalia Unified School District also for 19 years. She taught fifth and second grades. And so she has a lot of experience also. One of her specialties is in math. That she was very, very successful in teaching math to children. Um, Again, she's giving oversight to what we're doing, and we're going to allow Sandy to share a few words with you so that you can meet her also.
Hi, as you saw in my bio, I was in education for 19 years. I started late in my teaching career, but I did retire just a few years ago. Most of my years were in fifth grade. And in fifth grade, even as a second grade teacher, I did teach science and history. But as you heard a while ago, reading, writing, or math are very crucial. I'm just focusing today on math. The reason math is so important is because we use it every day. Whether you're a child or an adult, you will use math every day. It's all around us. Little children counting, and we're subtracting, adding, multiplying, dividing. Every day we're doing some type of math, whether it's time, looking at the calendar, measurement, all that is math. Your child may desire a profession that requires college, or maybe not. Maybe they want to be a landscaper, they want to be a construction worker, do some type of trade. Regardless of what job they have, I guarantee there will be math in any of those jobs. And if your child if they say, well, Mom, Dad, I don't want to go to college, or I don't even want this type of job. I want to be a singer. I want to be a baseball player, football player, or a singer. It doesn't matter. You're going to use math in our everyday life. When you are getting a place to live, when you're buying a car, when you get your paychecks, you have a budget. When you go to the store, you want to make sure they give you the correct money back. You're going to use math every day. When you're cooking, you need measurement. If you're out in your yard, maybe you want to build a garden or a fence, you're going to need math. So every day, math, you will use it all the time. So it's really important to teach our children the basics of math. Even high school students I've heard say, why am I learning algebra? Why am I learning trigonometry and geometry? I'm never going to use that. But it's building their problem-solving skills. And that's important for children, is to allow them to figure out a problem, to figure out what they're doing, how to get to that answer, giving them time. That's really important. The other thing is, when you're teaching children math, give them manipulatives. That means maybe some coins or some macaroni or beans, whatever it is. Just recently, I heard a parent say that her child is 1 year old and she was already counting. That's really important. They could do that at a young age, but give them some things to count. Instead of memorizing it, give them things to count. That's really important. That's going to help them. And so this homeschool is really important, and we're going to focus on those things here, and I guarantee that that will help them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. Now we're going to have Sandy's husband, Felix Mata. If you're from Visalia, maybe you're at the age that you went to Mineral King Elementary School, where he was the principal for many years, a very loved principal. And Felix is a retired principal from Visalia Unified School District with 37 years of experience in education. He also worked with the University of Massachusetts for 7 years. Felix is awesome in understanding the educational process. And so we're going to introduce Felix at this time so that you can hear a few words from him.
Hi. As Pastor mentioned, I am a retired educator at after 37 years in education, plus 7 years at the UMass University. And I have covered ages from pre-K all the way to university level. So I have seen a big span of changes in behavior, academics, work ethic that I would never have imagined would be happening. Before, we would have students that were well behaved, ready to learn, listening, and accept their responsibility for the behavior. Nowadays, no, we have students that are cussing, that are beating up on other people, on other students, and so it's been really a big difference in the things that students are doing nowadays. So I am here for homeschool parents, for homeschool teachers, to support them and help them with anything that they may need. I give them advice, and I'm there for them. So thank you, and hope you enroll in our school.
Okay, thank you, Felix, for sharing that. So these are the oversight of our retired educators, public educators who have the degrees and the experience and everything like that. And now I want to introduce you to our homeschool instructor, Angelica Ramos. Angelica has been a homeschooling mom for 3 years. She has skills certificate as a childhood development assistant, as well as a certificate for completing 25 hours plus of professional growth through the county of Tulare. Let me go ahead and show you her degrees here, or her certificates of accomplishment and what she's done. She's got a lot of experience in the setup, how to navigate and how to operate with the school district. There's a picture right there of her certificates and of what she has done. Let me go back so you can see her pretty face. We're going to come back and give her a few words to share with you her experience and what she's doing.
Hello, my name is Angelica Ramos, and I have been a homeschool teacher for 3 years and have been an in-home daycare provider for 4 years. Now, homeschooling was something that was never originally part of my family's plan until we saw just how much the school district had changed and just how fast these changes were being implemented. With my husband working for the school district at the time, we saw that some of these changes included things that went against my family's religious belief systems. Not only that, but they have such a high expectation educationally for children that it's as if these poor children are set up for failure. I mean, we can't blame students for falling behind when they have to share their teacher with 25 other students. So at least with homeschooling, I found peace knowing that my children would be getting one-on-one learning. Now, I know that we think that children need 7-hour-long learning days, but I'm here to tell you that that's not necessarily the case. With homeschooling, the average time it takes to homeschool is 0 to 30 minutes for pre-K, 30 minutes to 2 hours for elementary, 1.5 hours to 3 hours for middle school, and 2 to 4 hours for high school. But yet again, we think that we need these 7-hour-long learning days. So once I was fully ready to commit to homeschooling, I needed all the support that I could get. Thankfully, I got in contact with another homeschooling mom who took me to my first step, which was filing an affidavit. Once I filed the affidavit, it was time to find the perfect curriculum that fit my family's needs. So the curriculum that I've been using and the curriculum that COPI Homeschool Co-op will be using is called Purposeful Design. So with homeschooling, not only do you have to teach your children, but us as parents have to teach ourselves on how to teach our children. And this curriculum does an amazing job at doing that. It really goes step by step and shows you how to teach your child. Not only that, but they do a really great job at bringing a biblical aspect into certain learning opportunities. So for example, my daughter was learning how to count by twos, and so they brought the story of Noah's Ark and how God asked Noah to bring 2 of every kind to the ark. And so I thought that was a really neat idea that they decided to use that story to learn how to count by twos. So once I had that covered, a concern that me and my husband had was, am I capable of keeping my child with her grade level standard needs? Thankfully, COPI Homeschool Co-op will be overseen by 3 retired teachers, and one of those retired teachers volunteered to quiz my daughter to make sure that she is meeting her grade level standards, and she has been. So the thing with homeschooling that I love the most is that it can be customizable for your family's need, and you can really do a hands-on approach. So my children and I have done a scientific learning experiment, and we did a butterfly garden. So we really learned the process of metamorphosis, and it was just so fun to, get the little baby caterpillars, see them turn into the cocoons, and then we got to release these beautiful butterflies at the end. And not only that, but we've also done gardening. So we've grown tomatoes and cilantro and onions and some garlic, and we were able to make some things with the things that we grew. So you can really customize it for your family. Something that I like to do is I like to add a public school spin on it. So I still have my children do the Pledge of Allegiance first thing. I still have them raise their hand when they have a question. Don't worry, it's only during homework. And I still love to pack them these really cute lunches in their bento boxes and put them in their backpack. And they really do enjoy these little things that I do for them. So if you're thinking about homeschooling, I'm here to tell you that you can do it, and it doesn't have to be something that's an intimidating or scary. Homeschooling can be something that you and your family thrive in with the right support.
Okay, thank you, Angelica. And so that would be the homeschool instructor. Your children are going to love her. She's a very personal, very loving person that really cares for children. Now, I want to share with you our platform of what we're doing, and that if you become part of COPI Homeschool Co-op, what you would experience. Number one is we have an um, in-class 2 days a week format, 3 hours a day. And it's going to be done on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., your child will be in a classroom setting where we are going to focus the lessons on reading, writing, and arithmetic. And that would be with Angelica, with oversight by our retired teachers. Now, the assessments that I mentioned earlier will be done by the retired teacher, and they will put them through the same assessment your child would go through in public education to find out what grade level they're reading at, writing at, and doing math at, to show their abilities, and to make sure that they're getting both from you and from us the information they need to be strong in their educational foundation, which is critical in this K-3 arena. And so, as I said earlier, our curriculum is and the Bible study is pulled from Purposeful Design. Now, the Bible study will only be about 20 minutes each morning, and it's going to be basically a generic Bible study out of Purposeful Design. But then the math, the reading, the writing will correspond to they pull a lot of the Bible, like Angelica mentioned, like I mentioned, like using Noah's Ark as an example. But there's many different things that they use to teach the kids how to write. They'll write about things that are shared in it. So everything is based on a biblical curriculum. Now, if you get the book, also you can carry on with Bible studies on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Saturday, or whenever you do your homeschooling. Again, you don't have to follow the same format as the schools. You can do your homeschooling on Saturdays, Sundays, or whatever. Our homeschool co-op will run between September and June. So we'll start with the first Tuesday or Thursday in September, and we will end with the last Tuesday or Thursday in June. And so we will not follow the school district's teaching schedule. What do I mean by that? At Christmas time, public school is typically closed for 3 weeks. We're not going to do that. We will be closed only on major holidays. So if Christmas fell on Tuesday or Thursday, then we would be closed on that day. If January 1st fell on Tuesday or Thursday, we would be closed that day. We know that Thanksgiving always falls on Thursday, so that's a give me. We will be closed on Thanksgiving, but we're only closed on major holidays. All other Tuesdays and Thursdays, we will have 9 to 12 classes on those days. Now, we're only taking, as I mentioned early on, a maximum of 20 students. So if you are interested in this, because we're anticipating um, the space to fill up quickly. And we're starting on the first Tuesdays, February 4th, uh, which is very quickly coming up. So if you're interested, make sure and get in touch with us on that, because we do have a limitation. Why do we have a limitation? Is because our focus is quality. And so we don't want to take more children than what we know that we can account for. Now, somebody may say, because we're taking K through 3, is, wow, you've got kindergartners and third graders in the same context. Both Sandy and Tammy in their teaching taught combo classes. They know how to appropriate and instruct in multiple levels at the same time. So that's not a problem for us. So the starting age child needs to be 5, up through third grade, which is basically 8 years old. And those are the age groups that we're taking on. So here's the benefits to you as a parent. Number one, as I talked about, guidance on homeschool requirements. You have any questions, you need the information, getting your affidavit, whatever it is, we're here to help you through that navigational process. Number two is that help you meet the number of days. Within the curriculum, you have to have so many days of instructing. With our program, we are offering 80 days between September and June. Now, taking a grant, actually probably be 79 days, because we know that Thanksgiving is on Thursday, so we won't be there on that particular Thursday, so 79 days. But theoretically, but there's other months where there's more than 4 weeks. So technically, there's 4 weeks in a month. So there's 8 sessions in a month. Sometimes there's 9. Whatnot. Sometimes it'll be like Thanksgiving, but basically we're providing 80 days a year of instruction that goes toward your requirement of how much time that you need in instruction time with your child. Now there's no attendance with us. We're here to help you. We would hope that you would take advantage of every single class during the month, but we're not going to take attendance from the standpoint is, hey, your child wasn't here and you didn't call in. In fact, if you're not going to be here, you don't even have to call and tell us. You can just not show up. We're here to help you. But what we will give you, we are going to take an internal attendance of what child is there, because we're going to provide for you the documentation of how many times your child was in our class. Why does this matter? Because if you're ever audited, or the school district ever wants to see if you're really doing what you're supposed to be, you'll have the 80 days a year proof that here's this, and then all you got to do is supply the rest of your time that you spent with them, and to show that you hit the number of days needed. We'll also provide you instructional references of what has been covered during the classes, each class, so that you have sufficient documentation to show should you ever be checked. We're going to help you with the cost of tuition in homeschooling. There's factors, cost that you have that you don't have in public school. And so you have to buy the teaching materials and things like that. So we've got a plan to help you and try to lighten this load off your shoulders. Now, number 5, this kind of a wink of the eye, you get 2 days of rest a week, because you're bringing your child down here to our classroom twice a week for 3 hours. So you get 6 hours off where you don't have to do it. You can go run your errands and everything like that, where you don't have to pack the kids up. So that was kind of a wink of an eye benefits to parent. Number 6 is we provide the child's workbook. So within the curriculum, this goes back to number 4 of helping out with the cost of curriculum. There's a teacher's guide and there's a student guide. The student guide is around, the student workbook is around $30. And we're going to give that to you, so you won't have to pay that $30. I'll talk about the teacher's handbook, because if you follow on with purposeful design and in the teaching of the other days, then you'll want the instructor's handbook, so that shows you how to teach your child. Number 7 is, as I wait for it to populate on my live screen, no vax requirements. We are in person, but we're here to help you. They're not enrolling in any type of school or anything like that. So there's no vax requirement. I know a lot of people that are homeschooling is because they don't want to give their kids all the vaccinations required to go to a public school. And so there's nothing like that. Additionally, number 8, there's no homework to us. You're not turning things in that we're grading, or you don't have to report to us. We are here to help you. And we're a resource for you as you homeschool to take a lot of the heavy lifting off and to make sure you know that your child is on track at their grade level. And so those are the benefits to the parent. Now, the cost in what we're doing is $95 per month. So given the hours that we're providing of instruction for your child, that comes out to about an average of $3.95 per hour. This is very cheap. We're not doing this to try to make money on it. We're getting this as close to break even as we can so that it doesn't cost the church here money, but that we can provide a quality product. If you have a second child, say like you have a child in kindergarten, a child in third grade, the second child, we're going to give a $20 discount for $75. So now the curriculum option, I told you where we're going to help. The teacher's manual, there's 2 teacher manuals in language arts and math. And each one of those, it's like $129.95 plus tax. We rounded it off at $130. Each one of those is $130. So you're actually saving $2 or $3 also because we're covering the tax. But so instead of you purchasing the books, all you have to do is put a deposit on the books, equivalent to the purchase price, $260. But we will return the deposit as long as you return the book to us clean. What does clean mean? You don't write in it, you don't highlight in it, you don't tear pages, you don't dog ear it, and you don't spill your coffee and soda on it. You just give it back in a usable format. We are going to give you back $210. That ends up costing you a net cost of $25 per book, which saves you a lot of money on the whole homeschooling curriculum. Now, basically, the theory behind this is we can reuse the book for the next year. Your child is going to go from kindergarten to first grade. You're going to need the first grade book next year. So again, basically what you would come in is put a deposit in on the first grade book and then get your refund back so that you have the money to put the deposit on the second grade book. So we're retaining the $25 because we're purchasing the books up front. Now we're going to use them multiple times. Over the years, we'll recoup our cost $25 at a time. So it takes us a few years to get the money back, but you can kind of see the process going on that. We're trying to help you financially make this work. Now, there is an option on the book that if you did this curriculum option is just that, an option. If you want the book or you want the ebook version, you can purchase it directly from Purposeful Design for $40.89. However, with our deposit, it's only going to cost you $25. So it's actually cheaper to use ours, but you have the upfront cost of the deposit. So it just, however it works for you. We were asked about printing because within there's a lot of print elements that need to take place. And the print elements are things that the kids will work on out of the class that we're doing. So what we've done is figured out what it would cost us to print it for you. Now, we're not trying to get people to take the print option. If you have a printer and it's cheaper for you, man, just do it yourself. But if you want the convenience of us doing it for you, or you don't have a printer, or your printer is very expensive to use, I know on the black and white, some are black and white, some are color. So we based it on whether they're color documents or black and white documents. If you go down to Office Depot, their minimum price is 18 cents per copy. Ours is factored in at 12 cents a copy. So we're cheaper than going to a place. Plus, you don't have to drive down there, take the time, spend the gas and everything like that. The print option is just that. It's an option. And we're not trying to sell it or trying to get people into it because we're not making any money off of it. We're just covering the usage of our printers and our ink. Finally, we have tutoring available. Now, this isn't for everybody. This, again, is an option. But we have student tutoring. So let's say your child's behind in a subject. And really what we're focused on is reading, writing, and math in there. And you want one-on-one instruction. So let's say we do our assessment and your child's in the third grade, but they're reading on a first grade level or a second grade level, and they need to get up. You might want to take advantage of the tutoring where they're going to be one-on-one with our retired teachers to get them up. And I've seen, because we've had the tutoring program for quite a while now, and I've seen students come in that really struggled with reading, and they take 6 lessons or something like that and now they're at the top of their class in reading, and they're winning awards. I mean, our programs are always very successful. Now, I just put the hourly figure on here of $35 per hour, but we do have packages on that for students of, like, if you buy 6 tutoring sessions, or if you buy 12 tutoring sessions, it comes out cheaper. Now, those tutoring sessions are separate from the 9 to 12 Tuesday and Thursday. They would be in class on those times, and we would set up a tutoring time with you that's both conducive to our tutor and your schedule. Now, you might laugh at this, but we have tutoring for parents. As a homeschool instructor, there are things and there are ways to teach that you probably haven't been educated in or had the experience. Now, we don't perceive that parents will need a lot of this. And Helica, when she started out, because she knows my wife, Tammy, she asked Tammy to help her, and she said it was invaluable to teach her how to teach. These are the things you need to look for. These are the things you need to watch. Here's how you present it, and in a successful manner. And so if you as a parent want some instruction on how to do that, we'll set you up, again, not during the Tuesday, Thursday class, but something that's conducive to your schedule. And it's $40 an hour. If you want packages on that, we'll give you a discount, but we don't perceive that you'll need it. You might need it once, maybe twice, to get you started. After you learn how to do it, you're going to be fine and very confident in what you need to do. And so during our that's basically everything. We have questions now. You can ask questions wherever you're seeing this video. Email us. In fact, let me just give you the email address. It's COPI, COPI West Coast at iCloud.com. You can send us an email there if you have any questions on this. If you want to get started, you're under no contractual obligation. So let me explain how we're doing this. If you decide to do our co-op and you start right now in February, and well, let me just take the beginning of the year because it's probably more applicable. Let's say you started in September and you're going to go through June, but when you come to December, you're going back to your family's house in Minnesota or something like that, and you're going to be gone 3 weeks. Well, just skip the month. Don't pay for it. Don't come. You're not signing a contract with us. We are here to help. Now, we don't prorate and everything like that. So when you come in, it's $95 a month, and it's up to you to bring. You're going to have roughly 8 classes a month, and it's $95 a month. We don't prorate. Well, I'll only be here 1 week out of the 4. Can you just charge me this amount? We're not doing that. It's $95 a month. If you're not going to be there that month, just don't pay. Come back the next month. Just make sure and keep your child on track in your teaching so they don't fall behind. That wouldn't be good for you or for your child. So send us any of your questions, COPI, COPI West Coast at iCloud.com, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions. We are starting February 4th, maximum 20 students. So if you're interested in this, make sure and get going. If you're wanting to take advantage of our curriculum option, we have to order the book. So you need to give us, you need to get on it quicker than later so that we have the books ready for you when we start. So thank you for joining us. And I hope we see you in COPI Homeschool Co-op. Bless you.